Have you ever had one of those brilliant light bulb ideas that just kind of fizzles out before it even gets going? Well, today we're going to build the toolkit you need to take your best ideas from that first spark of inspiration all the way to a real-world achievement. Let's dive in. Yeah, we've all been there, right? You get that flash of genius, that aha moment. But then, what? How often does that initial excitement actually turn into a finished product? A lot of the time, the path forward just feels foggy, maybe even a little overwhelming. So, how do we bridge that gap?
Well, the secret isn't some single superpower. It's actually about learning how to switch between different modes of thought. It's this journey from the vibrant, chaotic, colorful world of a new idea over to the structured, logical world of a solid, workable plan. So let's break down the tools you need for that journey. Okay, first up, every single great achievement starts with an idea. This is the realm of creative thinking.
You know, Mark Twain had this absolutely brilliant way of looking at it. He said that creativity isn't really about inventing something out of thin air. It's about recombination. You know, taking ideas that already exist and just seeing brand new connections between them.
I love this metaphor. Think of all your knowledge, your memories, your experiences. They're like little pieces of colored glass inside a kaleidoscope. Creative thinking is the act of giving that kaleidoscope a good shake to see what new, beautiful, and totally unexpected patterns emerge. That, right there, is the heart of innovation.
So, if we want to get a little more formal, this is what we're talking about. Creative thinking is all about generating possibilities. And here's the thing, it's not just for artists or musicians, it's a fundamental tool for solving problems in literally any field.
And this isn't just some nice, fluffy idea. It's actually backed by educational psychology. There's a foundational model for learning called Bloom's taxonomy. And in the modern version, guess what's sitting at the very top of the pyramid? Creating. It's considered our most complex, highest-level cognitive skill. Pretty cool, right? So, you've got that creative spark. Awesome. But an idea without a plan is just a dream. So let's move to our next tool and start building the blueprint, analytical thinking.
I really like this way of putting it. Creativity gives you the destination, that amazing place you want to go. But analytical thinking, that draws the map, builds the car, and fills it with gas. It provides the essential structure that every great idea needs to survive in the real world.
At its core, analysis is really about one thing: deconstruction. You take a big, messy, complicated problem and you break it down into smaller, more manageable pieces until you can finally see how everything connects and, most importantly, where to start.
I mean, just look at this Amazon warehouse. It's the perfect large-scale example. Think about what it takes to get one single package from a shelf to your front door. It involves thousands of steps. Analytical thinking is what designs that entire mind-boggling system. From categorizing every product to planning the most efficient routes. It literally creates order out of what would otherwise be total chaos. But this works on a much smaller scale too. Let's take that creative idea. Hey, let's start serving breakfast at our cafe. Great idea. But the analytical process is what makes it happen. It breaks it down into defining the goal, researching menus, getting the team on board, organizing schedules, and then finally, figuring out what works. Each step is a logical piece of the puzzle.
And you know, this isn't some new skill we just invented. The incredible legacy of scholars from Central Asia shows us its power. I mean, Al-Khwarizmi didn't just have an idea about numbers. He analyzed processes to create step-by-step methods, which gave us algebra and the very concept of an algorithm. And Ulagbeg's rigorous, data-driven cataloging of the stars, that laid the foundation for modern astronomy. That is the power of systematic analytical thought.
Okay, you have the creative idea, you have the analytical plan, but we need one more absolutely essential tool in our toolkit. Let's call it the quality control check, critical thinking. This is the one question critical thinking is always asking. See, it's not enough just to have a plan. You need to be sure it's the right plan, that it's built on a solid foundation, and that it's actually going to work out there in the real world. You can think of critical thinking as your own internal skeptic. It's that little voice in your head that asks, wait a minute, is that really true? What are we taking for granted here? Where's the evidence? It's all about evaluating information, not just blindly accepting it.
And a fundamental, bedrock skill in critical thinking is knowing the difference between a fact and an opinion. A fact, like mice are animals, can be verified with evidence. But an opinion, like mice make the best pets, well, that's just a belief. Strong plans and sound judgments are always built on a bedrock of facts. So really, critical thinking is the filter you apply to the world. It helps you separate what's real from what's not, fact from fiction. But just as importantly, and this is huge, it helps you look inward, to recognize and challenge your own biases, making sure your judgment is as clear and objective as possible.
So we have our 3 key tools. Now let's see how they come together to form a complete, really powerful toolkit.
Now, it's really tempting to think of this as a simple 1, 2, 3 process, but it's not like that at all. The best thinking happens in a dynamic cycle. You might use critical thinking to challenge your first creative idea, or maybe you'll need to get creative to solve a problem your analytical plan uncovered. They all work together all the time.
So here it is, the whole toolkit. You start with creative thinking to generate that initial spark and find new solutions. Then you use analytical thinking to break it all down and build a logical blueprint. And all along the way, you apply critical thinking to question, test, and refine that plan, making sure it's tough enough for the real world.
With this toolkit, that path from a simple idea to a finished reality is no longer a mystery. It's a process you can learn, you can practice, and you can master. So the only question left is, what amazing idea are you going to bring to life?